welcome back to my channel. Mia here. I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. Today is being a great day for me because I was able to sleep in later and we had this huge thunder earlier in the day, which was perfect for my sleep. I love sleeping when it's raining and thundering outside. I don't know, it just kind of sets the mood for my sleep for me, and it was fantastic. Aside from that, I'm very pampered and relaxed today. Yesterday, a few co-workers and I, after work, we went to this new it's like a nail salon. It's like a herbal spa basically. We had a gift card from a previous event that we went to and it was so relaxing. I felt so pampered. They did an amazing job. It was the most relaxing experience I've had in a very long time, and I got this super cool nail art. Like, I don't think you can actually tell in the video, but it just kind of like changes tones of color as you move it, especially in the daylight. It looks amazing and it was just a fantastic fun experience. Today's video is going to be my wrap up for the month of September. I did manage to read 14 things in the month because I participated with the Underhyped readathon as well as the Diversithon. It helped a lot when it comes to my reading. I did not read everything that I had intended to read originally because I honestly set myself for failure. I gave me a very unrealistic TBR and obviously I didn't get to read everything that I wanted to. However, I did have some fantastic reads during the month and I am very happy with what I managed to read. Since I already recorded two wrap-ups this month, one for the Underhyped reads and the other one for the Diversithon reads, I'm not going to go into details for those books. I'm just going to post the previous videos that I recorded either down below or somewhere up here for you guys to check out if you're interested. So these are the books that I finished reading this month. I did started to read a bunch of other things this month that I didn't get to finish. I was in one of those weird moods where I pick up a book and I was enjoying it, but I will get bored very quickly and I just wanted to pick up something different. So I started quite a few books that I didn't finish, unfortunately, but hopefully I will continue on reading those books on the month of October and perhaps finish them this month. Without any further ado, let's get into those books. So this month I managed to read 3 poetry collections, 6 comic books, and 5 books. During the Underhyped readathon, I read It Came, which is a comic. I also read Bacon is a Vegetable and Coffee is a Vitamin, which is comic strips basically. I read The Book Collector, which is a novel, and I also read The Hoffman's Secret, which is another novel. And for poetry collections, I read The Hows and Whys of My Failures and I read Getaway Girl. And as I previously said, I did record a wrap-up for all these books. I also made reviews for them, so I'll have all the stuff linked down below if you're interested in checking those out and see what I thought of these reads. During the Diversithon, I read In Order to Leave and Guapa. I did make a wrap-up video for this readathon, so like I said previously, I'll link it somewhere in this video so that you can go ahead and check it out if you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts when it comes to these 2 reads. Aside from what I read during the readathons this month, I also picked up The Lightning Dreamer, and this is by Margarita Engle. This is about Cuba's greatest abolitionist, and it's inspired by a woman named, which I can't believe I haven't heard from her. It's called Gertrudis Gomez, and she wrote a novel named Sab, S-A-B, and a bunch of other poems and short stories and whatnot. And they're all about equality for different races, equality between men and women. Like, that's the kind of speech person that she was, and that's what she wrote about. And she was very controversial during her time because of those ideals and those thoughts that she portrayed in her writing and what she did with plays as well. So it's very interesting. This is a work of fiction. This is what this author made a poetry collection based on her Sab novel, which is about the lady that this book is inspired about, Gertrudis, and Sab, who is this slave for whom she fell in love with. And the novel that she created is about their love story, and this poetry was inspired by that. So there's a lot of that reflected in this poetry collection, and I'm having a very difficult time today with putting thoughts into words and getting them out there. So thank you for your patience with me today, but this was very, very enjoyable. I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I mean, I honestly liked almost every single poem. I mean, I liked every poem, but I loved almost every single one. I thought they were very reflective of how I feel about things, and I could really connect with the poems in this collection. So definitely loved it. I would highly, highly recommend it. This is going to be the 5th time I attempt to speak about this particular book. As you can see, the lighting outside has changed, time has passed, and I'm still stuck on how to express my feelings about this particular book. So I'm sorry if I seem a little frustrated. If I do, it's just because I am. I just can't seem to put my thoughts together into a short amount of time and into a short series of sentences that make sense and express how I feel effectively. Anyways, the book that I'm talking about is called Silence. It's a novel by Shūsaku Endō. The story takes place in the 1600s, and it follows 2 priests from Portugal who travel all the way to Japan because previously to their traveling there, Christianity was welcome in Japan for a period of time, and temples were built, and it was a religion that started to grow in Japan. There was a change in emperors around that time, and the new emperor just denounced Christianity from Japan, and it became a prohibited religion. In order to help those Japanese Christians that were left without guidance, this Portugal priest traveled to Japan as guides for these other Christians and as motivators for them to continue with their belief. Once they get to Japan, they start to see the struggle that these people go through. They live in hiding. It's not quite what they originally thought they were going to do. And eventually they end up getting captured. Basically, the whole story is about differences in beliefs in one country and the way that these 2 different religions try to enforce each side of their religions on the people. The more powerful one and the less powerful one. And I really enjoyed the story, which was a little bit surprising because I tend to not be a huge fan of religious books, mostly because to me it tends to feel like a sermon more than a story, or maybe more like a textbook rather than a story. It just feels very dense, and sometimes it can feel a little bit forceful, and I don't tend to like that too much. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The story follows one father more than the other, so it's mainly about one father and his struggles with his personal faith and his own view on his religion as the situation continues to get more and more difficult during his stay in Japan. It is very, very interesting because I felt that it gave you more of a personal experience rather than a lecture, because you're following this one person, this one individual, and you're starting to feel his feelings as they get confused and as they start to question something that he otherwise would have never questioned in his life. What I kept on thinking throughout reading this book was the fact that different kinds of groups tend to always try to force the other group to feel and think the same way they do. And I just don't understand, why can't people just accept that we're all different and that while we might view things differently, we've been given that ability to think for ourselves and to come up with our own conclusions and to develop our own feelings and our own thoughts about things in life. And it's just very stressful to me to see how throughout such a long history we continue to make the same mistakes, and we continue to go to wars, and we continue to cause so much pain on others for the same reasons. And I'm not going to go into a rant about this. Anyways, it was a good story. I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I do recommend it because it was a very, very interesting read, and I like how at the beginning the introduction does give you a lot of historical facts, and then you get to compare those facts with what you're reading. So it was a very interesting, very educating read, which I enjoyed. Then I picked up this graphic novel called Deogratias, A Tale of Rwanda, and this is by Stassen. This was another very powerful read. It's about Rwanda and the division between their tribes and all the death that was caused. This follows actually one character, and it goes from past and present. So he's in his present time, but as he's going through his everyday, he has flashes of things that took place before, and eventually it explains to you what happened then and what he's actually doing now. So it was a very interesting story. It was very sad. The art style was perfect for this kind of story. It really was sad, and it made me cry a lot, but as you can see, the art style is perfect for this kind of story. And again, it just goes back to what I was saying about the previous book. I just don't understand why throughout history there has to be so much destruction, and all the destruction that it is caused on humans are caused by other humans. And it's just like, gosh, why can't we just get along? Like, I honestly don't get it. Why is it so difficult for us to put our differences aside and just simply get along? I don't know, another one of those stories that were just heartbreaking. I ended up giving this story 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely recommend it. Then I picked up a super fun comic called Sam and Fussy Fix Your Problem. This is volume 1 and it's by Sam Logan. This was a refreshing change in what I've been reading this month. This month was very intense, a lot of very serious topics, very heartbreaking topics, and it was taking a toll on me. I was starting to feel a little bit depressed because of all the sad things that I've been reading about. And this was just refreshing, and it was very helpful with my mood, and it just kind of brightened me up a little bit. It follows the teddy bear Fussy, and it follows Sam. Now, Sam is a young guy who inherited this ninja mafia organization, and he changes it into an organization that helps people fix their problems. And it deals mostly with supernatural things, so you're dealing with talking animals, with vampires, werewolves, and it was just a lot of fun and enjoyable. The art inside is black and white, but it was perfect for the mood. It was just fun. I really liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I also picked up Shūsaku, The Journey of a Great White. This got me a little bit back into the whole sad kind of reads, or not sad, but just very important things that people should be more aware of, and it tends to be for the most part kind of sad. Anyways, this is by Matt Dembicki, and it follows a white shark, and it follows a turtle, and it follows their journey from one side of the world to the other, where they go to put their eggs and have their babies. The story is actually kind of really sad. You get to see a lot of the things that we humans do to the oceanic environment and animals from the sea, and how much we damage their habitat, and how we are the main cause for this animal's threat to their ecosystem and their extinctions and all of that horrible negative things that we humans tend to do, because of course we have to destroy everything we touch, including our planet and the animals that are part of our planet, including each other. So anyways, this was one of those reads that just got me back into the depression mode. I did enjoy it a lot. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but this was a very intense month. I do hope next month to pick up more light reads and just something that's going to get me back into a happy mood, because a lot of the things I read this month were just very, very stressful to read about, but very, very important as well. So I do definitely recommend this. It is very educated. and for what I see, I think that the facts in this story are very well researched, which is a plus when it comes to this kind of read, in my opinion. And the last thing that I read this month is Amulet by Kazu, Kibuishi, and this is the Stonekeeper's Curse. This is book 2, and it was amazing. I read book 1 a while ago. I got it out of the library, and this time around I actually bought book 1 and book 2, which is a little bit of a book haul spoiler, but it was so amazing. I'm really enjoying this story. I won't tell you what happens in this book since it's book 2, but in the first book, basically, after the tragic death of the father in this family, the mother and her 2 kids move into, I believe it's her grandfather's house, and the daughter ends up finding this amulet, and when she starts wearing the amulet, she is taken, the whole family is taken to another dimension where she is going to become a very important person in this world, and she just gathered a lot of responsibility and special powers, and there's so much more that unfolds from that. So it was very enjoyable. I ended up giving this 4, maybe 4.5 stars, I would say. Very enjoyable. I can't wait to continue on with this series and see where it takes me. I think it's going to get more and more intricate as it goes. So far, very enjoyable. There you have it. Those are all the things that I finished reading this month. I will have coming up another video with the things that I started that didn't finish and what I am currently reading. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me comments down below. Let me know if you read any of the things that I've read, what you think of them, and I hope to see you very soon in another video.